With NBA draft season quickly approaching us, one team that I wanted to add to my rebuild series that I started on this channel is the Orlando Magic. Now this is a team that has made the playoffs the last 2 seasons, but there are still a lot of questions surrounding this team's future and what the roster will even look like just a year from now. But before we get into today's video, I want to thank you guys for your continued support on this channel, as it means the world to me. And if you are new here and enjoy NBA content, consider subscribing. I upload videos once or twice a week. Now before I jump into what moves this team can make in free agency this offseason and some guys that they may look to draft come November, let's take a look at this current roster. Nikola Vucevic is obviously the main piece this team seems to be building around, and after the Magic offered him a 4-year $100 million deal last year in free agency, that is very much true. Aaron Gordon is another guy who this team has a lot of money invested into and is due $15+ million over the next 2 seasons. Evan Fournier has a $17 million player option that he will most likely pick up this offseason, and Terrence Ross is also under contract for the next 3 years. The young players on this team, like Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Bamba, are all on team-friendly contracts as of right now. But at least for Isaac and Fultz, they will be able to demand a good amount of money once they both become free agents in 2021. So where does this team go? They don't have enough assets to pry away a star player, nor are really the desired destination for one. And the East is only set to get better with teams like the Cavs, Hawks, Knicks, and Hornets all on the rise. Let's first start with the number one thing that I think this team has to do, and that would be moving on from Aaron Gordon. Now my logic for this is pretty easy, and it has to do with one of 2 things that are really hurting this team. For one, Aaron Gordon plays the same position as Jonathan Isaac. Now Isaac is not getting as many minutes as he would at his natural position if Gordon wasn't on the roster. And to be fair, Jonathan Isaac benefits this team more than Gordon, even at this point in his career. The second reason, which happens to be the more generally accepted reason for why the Magic should look to move on from AG, is the fact that he hasn't shown the ability to spread the floor in the modern NBA and has really struggled to develop a consistent jump shot from the outside. Now many people who like Gordon may argue that Jonathan Isaac doesn't have a good 3-ball either. But Aaron Gordon does nothing close to what Jonathan Isaac does for this team on the defensive end. Now some teams that could draw interest in Aaron Gordon include the Spurs, who could offer DeMar DeRozan if they want to get his contracts off the books a year early, the Timberwolves, whose only missing piece now, assuming they draft Anthony Edwards this fall, would be the power forward position, and the Clippers are another team that could slightly make a move for Gordon, assuming Montrezl Harrell doesn't re-sign in free agency. Aaron Gordon is the biggest trade asset this team has in my opinion, and is one of the few players on this roster that I think the Magic would be willing to move on from. I could see potential trades in Evan Fournier and Terrence Ross early next season if the Magic are doing bad and a competitor is looking to add some shooting depth. But other than that, this team is pretty much tied into what they got right now. As far as the draft goes, the Magic have the 15th pick this year, a position in the draft that is still good enough to grab a player who can come in and make an immediate impact. So let's talk about some guys they could look to target. One guy who I think the Magic should really keep an eye on is Villanova forward Saddiq Bey. Bey was one of the best 3-and-D players in all of college basketball last season, shooting 45% from 3 on over 5 attempts a game. He is also a position of need for the Magic, playing small forward. Now another guy who I think the Magic may look to select with the 15th pick in this year's draft is Vanderbilt shooting guard Aaron Nesmith. Similar to Saddiq Bey, Nesmith was another one of the nation's best shooters last season, shooting over 50% from 3. Last year, the Magic ranked 25th in the league in 3-point percentage. So I definitely think they will look to add somebody who has the ability to stretch the floor and create space for guys like Nikola Vucevic and Jonathan Isaac. Now, I think this Magic team is one that can continue to be competitive as long as Nikola Vucevic and the rest of the veterans on this roster are playing at a high level. But there isn't really enough talent or future assets that really encourage me that this team can make a deep run to the playoffs, at least for right now. I really like what we've seen from Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac, so if this team is to hit on another very good player in the draft, it could really benefit them. And that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for future videos just like this one, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one.